A father and son are accused of pouring gasoline on a Lincoln County home and setting it on fire. Now they're in jail. A hearing on Medicare in the state capitol today will have details ahead. And a lawsuit says a Volkswagen scandal reaches all the way to the top. How it says executives covered up diesel cheating.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. A father and son are accused of arson for what happened outside a Lincoln County home.
Luke and Billy Robinson are accused of pouring gasoline on a Waynesburg home. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on the allegations. It's our top story at 4:30.
The 40-year-old father and his 20-year-old son are now in the Lincoln County Jail charged with arson. The father is also facing a charge of wanton endangerment. Both are accused of pouring gasoline on the home. Allegations are also that several threats were made. The warrant signed by Stacy Maynard alleges that Luke Robinson and his son Billy went to the home on Kentucky 328 in Waynesburg on June 30th. Maynard is the mother of April Ledbetter, a woman that Luke Robinson used to be in a relationship with, according to the warrant. It states that the two Robinsons poured gasoline from a red container into a glass that they proceeded to dash onto the home. Maynard's daughter, along with a 13-year-old and a 5-month-old, were there as all of this was taking place. Luke Robinson is also accused of trying to stab Ledbetter and said he would torch the house, according to the warrant. A neighbor called police and the Robinsons left. The two were arrested and lodged in jail after a sheriff's deputy served the warrant. Relatives of the two are coming to their defense, saying that these charges are baseless, saying this was all just a big misunderstanding. We'll have more from them coming up at 5:30. But for now, in Lincoln County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Luke Robinson pled not guilty to the charges in Lincoln District Court. A preliminary hearing has been set for Monday. The Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky testified this morning on the benefits and concerns surrounding a waiver proposed by the Bevin administration, which has the potential to transform Kentucky's Medicaid system.
Andrea Walker was in Frankfort today to bring you the latest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky is an organization whose goal is to address the unmet needs of Kentuckians by informing and influencing health policy in the state, which is why today's hearing was so important to Dr. Susan Zepeda and her team.
Consideration of the Medicaid waiver today is something that we care very deeply about. And we approached it in the way we usually approach things, which is, what does the research tell us? What are other states' experience with waiver applications like this to inform the deliberations of our legislators today?
The federal government permits states to experiment with doing Medicaid differently through waivers, like the 1115 waiver discussed today.
And what it does is it has to show that the state's doing something innovative that either expands access to care or does care differently, bringing something new to the Medicaid work of the nation.
Zepeda praised several aspects of the proposal, including the expansion of substance abuse treatment and healthy behavior incentives, but she also addressed a few concerns.
Part of our conversation today was about what we don't know about the people who are on Medicaid. It seemed almost as if some folks were equating being on Medicaid with being unemployed. And we are aware that a good many, some have said more than half of the newly insured, are actually employed.
While the issues discussed today were at times confusing, the ultimate goal was quite simple.
Let's make sure we're designing a waiver that meets the real needs of real Kentuckians.
In Frankfort, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
The administration will now revise their proposal to submit to the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. The proposal will then be reviewed and revised on the federal level. All right, you may want to find a pool, a lake, place to stay cool, because we are tracking heat and humidity.
We are, but that heat may bring a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, we got a lot of shower and thunderstorm action showing up right now into parts of central Kentucky, and the clouds and the storms are really beating any heat. You cannot call upper 80s hot around here. It's July. Upper 80s are normal, and we've got a lot of them showing up across the entire area. Yeah, it may feel a little muggy out there, but that's the humidity talking to you. And that humidity is also leading to some scattered thunderstorms. And look at the lightning now beginning to ramp up here across parts of central Kentucky. We've had some rains across Lexington, especially on the south side of town. You get just to the south of Commonwealth Stadium, where folks out there have had some raindrops, south of Cooper and toward the Fayette Mall area and back toward the southwest side of town. Dunbar High School getting in on a few drops, and we're looking in that general direction where our Skycam does indeed pick up on a few raindrops. Northern parts of Fayette County, near the Horse Park, south of Marshall Park there, into southern parts of Georgetown with a little gusty shower. Frankfort, can you hear the distant rumble of thunder? That is rolling into town now from northwest to southeast, and it is coming out of Henry County, the Newcastle area, with a couple of thunderstorms. That's actually a very strong storm to the northeast of Bardstown that is dropping toward the southeast. That holds together folks into western Boyle County, down toward Casey County. The Taylor County area may pick up a little bit of that. Western Kentucky, many areas could not get out of the 70s today on a day when a lot of forecasts out there were advertising mid and upper 90s. The humidity is going to be a big player over the next few days, but I'm telling you, thunderstorms are going to try to fight the heat. That's a setup we'll follow in the hour-by-hour forecast when I come back.
Chris, thank you. In Montgomery County, a warning about a scam. The calls appear to come from the Mount Sterling Police Department. The scammer threatens to arrest people for having unpaid taxes to the IRS. Officials say you should not give any information and simply hang up the phone. It's the time of year when you may get a knock at your door from someone wanting to fix up your home. Door-to-door contractors may stop by to offer to fix your roof, your gutters, or driveway. Some are legitimate, but Heather Clary with the Central Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky Better Business Bureau says there are some signs to look for before you hire a contractor who comes to your door. It's part of a WKYT Scam Week report.
They want all the money up front, or most of it up front. They want it in cash, or they want you to make the check out to somebody else, or something odd like that before they've done anything for you.
Amber joins us now with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs from the live desk on more to look out for if you want to hire a home contractor. Amber?
Sam, thank you. You know, we've all had folks come to our door. They tell us they could do some work and kind of gets us to thinking, oh, maybe I do need this
Gets you a little excited,
Yeah.
but the key is not to get overexcited when people show up at your door. You want to take time, take their information, and then get some quotes from other people. Make sure that they're on par with other groups, so especially check on that documentation that they have.
And I'm assuming if they don't have the documentation or any kind of contract, that's a big red flag.
As Heather Clary put it, a handshake and a smile just doesn't cut it these days. You have to have a contract to protect both sides, something in writing saying this is what's going to be done and this is how you'll be compensated for it.
I know it's important to know all of this, but we have to remember that not everyone that comes to our door is going to be the bad guy, right?
Right, and it's very common this time of year for contractors to go around trying to drum up a little extra business. There's nothing wrong with that. The key is slow down, take your time. Once they come to your door, take their information, look at it, and then call them later. If they're legit, they'll come back.
Absolutely. More good advice coming your way tonight at 6. Sam?
New problems for Volkswagen over the automaker's emissions scandal. Lawsuits filed by 3 states claim top executives were involved with creating so-called defeat devices that allowed vehicles to cheat U.S. emissions tests. Lawsuits come weeks after an estimated $15 billion record settlement package with owners and regulators here in the U.S. Chris Van Cleve reports.
This was not a corporate decision from my point of view. This was a couple of software engineers who put this in for whatever reasons.
That's then Volkswagen U.S. CEO Michael Horn in October, giving Congress what had become the Volkswagen emissions scandal party line. Some found it hard to believe.
VW is trying to get the United States of America to believe these are a couple of rogue engineers. I categorically reject that.
The lawsuits filed Tuesday confirm those suspicions, pointing to company documents showing defeat devices were discussed and approved by managers, then concealed from regulators.
This cover-up was deep, wide, and long-lasting.
Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche sold nearly 600,000 vehicles in the U.S. with software designed to cheat emission standards. The New York State lawsuit alleges VW developed 6 separate defeat devices to get around engineering challenges with its clean diesel engines and did a cost-benefit analysis over potential penalties for getting caught. Joe Alper bought a 2011 Audi A3 equipped with a defeat device.
How did 9 guys sit around the table and go, hey, let's cheat, and no one else goes, that's a bad idea?
In a statement, Volkswagen said the allegations are essentially not new, adding it is regrettable that some states have decided to sue for environmental claims now. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Now, the suit stops short of claiming that current VW CEO was aware of the defeat devices. These cases can move forward because June's settlement did not deal with the penalties Volkswagen could face.
If you've been wanting to try a new restaurant, now is a great time to do it. Lexington Restaurant Week kicks off tomorrow and runs through July 30th. Apiary Fine Catering and Events held a kickoff event earlier this week. For the next 10 days, more than 36 local restaurants will offer special menus at a reduced cost, and a part of the proceeds will benefit LexArts. You can find a list of restaurants and their menus by visiting LexingtonRestaurantWeek.com.
A sad day for fans of Happy Days as Hollywood loses a legend. We'll look back at the legacy of Gary Marshall coming up at 4:30.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
All right, a little steamy out there today. Nothing we can't handle, nothing we shouldn't expect this time of year. Current heat index values are into the upper 80s to right at 90 degrees. A heat index of 90 in July is nothing. It is 88 in Lexington, many of the surrounding areas. Look at western Kentucky, upper 70s today because of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms. Look across the entire Ohio Valley. Heat? Yeah, this is typical for the month of July, and in some cases it's a little cooler than normal. We can thank some clouds and, yes, some showers and thunderstorms that are cranking up out there for all that. Look at this little broken band that is trying to develop now from Lexington all the way into southern parts of the Hoosier State. South side of town, we've been getting in on some heavier downpours. Now, it hasn't been affecting a whole lot of folks, but for friends, family out shopping around the Fayette Mall area, it has been really coming down, and that includes Tates Creek High School back to the northwest, beginning to slacken off just a little bit toward Beaumont. West side of town, Bluegrass Airport, mix of sun and some clouds. How about Franklin County? Back to the west, Shelby County, Newcastle, Henry County, he says, thunder and some lightning coming from the skies. Whatever's out there is coming in from northwest to southeast. Talked about this over the past few days. Watch the northwestern sky. Frankfort, yeah, sky has been darkening from northwest to southeast, and behind that, you got some thunderstorms that go all the way across the river into southern parts of Indiana. Very intense little thunderstorm now northeast of Bardstown here into Nelson County, Anderson County, down into the Willisburg area, Springfield, Washington County, Lebanon, Marion County. We'll keep an eye on that as it drops its way in from northwest to southeast. And additional action, western Kentucky. I've seen a couple of sites out in western Kentucky on the day that have picked up close to 2 inches of rain. Speaking of rain chances over the next week, we're going to be continuing in the scattered category, just like today. Over the next few, we go deep into the weekend, and early next week, we will see the rain chances beginning to ramp up as the whole fight that we've advertised between the heat and the storms eventually goes to the storms. They'll duke it out over the next few days. It's steamy outside of storms. It's still steamy with the thunderstorms, but you can have temperatures drop big time on you. Like right now, parts of Lexington, we've got 70s that are showing up, and also upper 80s outside of the thunderstorms. Forecast into the day on Saturday, a little better shot maybe of a scattered storm or two. I asked a computer model to tell me what it thinks over the next week will happen in terms of rain. Does not include thunderstorms on a local scale, which can drop a quick inch or two. General inch or two of rain being advertised over the next week by this one computer model. And again, it's only a snapshot in time of what some computer guidance thinks. Over the next few days, we can hit 90, but you got to keep the sunshine. Any type of cloud cover or shower or thunderstorm action will knock the temperatures down. Seeing it out there right now. And over the course of the next week, every day can feature a shower or thunderstorm. Best chances crank up later this weekend into the first parts of next week. So right now, parts of Lexington, 75 to 80, other parts of Lexington, upper 80s.
I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that it was raining a little bit in Deanne's live shot at Commonwealth Stadium because you say these are pop-ups.
They are, and we're watching the northwestern sky. We'll get these little clusters to develop and roll on into town.
All right, Chris, thank you.
The Pokemon Party has invaded Commonwealth Stadium. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about live with the fun today.
Some pretty big Pokemon players are braving the heat and a little bit of rain for a chance to catch them all in Commonwealth Stadium.
And our very own Deanne Stevens is out and about live in Commonwealth with more on the Pokemon craze. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Are we catching anything yet? Not yet. We're trying. We're coming for you because we're trying to catch them all here at Commonwealth Stadium. We opened the gates, about 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, people have been flooding in here. Even the Wildcat having a hard time catching them, but you can bet they're having a ton of fun here. You got any?
I do not.
What is the craze about Pokemon, guys? Somebody lift your heads long enough to talk to me and explain.
It's not possible. Is it squirrel?
He says it's not possible. He can't lift his head. You said it's possible because you've caught Pikachu.
Yeah, I caught Pikachu the other night as I speak.
Yeah, and you also broke your phone because you ran into a curb.
Yeah.
So it can be quite dangerous,
Yes.
too. And they're not real good at having conversation, I'll tell you that. The Wildcat talks better than them. And shirt. This guy brought me a great shirt. Where'd this come from?
Kentucky branded.
Kentucky branded, of course. Wildcat, have you caught any? Yeah, he caught me. Oh, looks beautiful, beautiful. Nathan Schwacke, how's it going so far?
Great.
Have you got a lot of people that are catching Pokemon out here? Because that's the key to today's event, right?
It is. The key is to have fun, really. And I don't know where Wildcat is used to catching birds and things like that, so this is a little bit different for him. But he's obviously no stranger to this space.
And for people who aren't Pokemon players, I've watched a lot of parents and they're kind of like, I don't get it, but my kids wanted to come out. They're having fun seeing this too.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing just to come out to the stadium and just kind of see it from the field level and all the new construction that we opened last year. So it's just an opportunity to have fun.
Well, Commonwealth Stadium is a beautiful sight to see anytime you can get out here. And when you can get out here and have a little fun with it too, it is a win-win for folks. Do you foresee doing this often? More? Is this a once-in-a-lifetime chance?
I don't know. It could be once in a lifetime. So if you're watching right now, you've got about 90 minutes to come out and come to Gate 9 and come on in.
Come to Gate 9. You can also park in the red lot here at Commonwealth Stadium. Be a part of the Pokemon party happening here at Commonwealth Stadium. 6:30, the gates will close. And then you're not going to have time to catch them anymore. He says, come out now. And he will not have his phone in his hand. He'll lift his head and actually talk to you. Lift your head. Say hello.
Hello.
Say, come join us for the Pokemon party.
Come join us with the Pokemon party.
We got some conversation out of them. Come on out. 6:30. They're closing the gates here at Commonwealth Stadium. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about catching my Pokemon here. Back to you guys.
I love that Deanna had to give some instruction there.
Yes.
Please lift your head. Please talk to me
They're
right
all like
now.
this, just walking around like this. Okay. Good luck, folks.
Well, Gary Marshall, an actor, director, writer, and producer who entertained audiences for more than half a century, has died, but he left behind an enormous legacy both in movies and television.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
And by 1979, Marshall had three of the top 5 shows on TV. That included Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, starring his sister Penny, and Mork and Mindy, starring an unknown comic named Robin Williams. Marshall estimated that he wrote and directed some 1,000 sitcom episodes. On CBS This Morning, he talked about how TV has changed over the years.
On Happy Days, you said you couldn't even say the word virgin.
No,
you couldn't say the word
there
virgin.
was a lot of censorship. You know, we said she was as pure as snow, but she drifted.
Yeah.
But but sometimes when you have censorship, you got to be a little smarter, a little clever.
After the news of his death last night, stars took to social media. Happy Days icon Harry Winkler tweeted, "Rest in peace. Thank you for your loyalty, friendship, and generosity." Marshall also directed films including Pretty Woman and The Princess Diaries. He died in California from complications of pneumonia following a stroke. Gary Marshall was 81. He'll be missed. Actress Jennifer Garner attended a fundraiser to help raise money for a West Virginia high school damaged by last month's floods. Garner, who's a West Virginia native, toured several flood-stricken areas of the state over the weekend. Herbert Hoover High School in Charleston was one of the hardest hit. The school suffered more than $12 million in damages. The devastating floods killed 23 people across the state and damaged more than 1,200 homes.
A Louisville mother tried punishing her son by making him mow lawns for free. Now he's becoming a big help in the community. A lot of folks out chasing Pokemon right now and probably sweating while they're doing so over there at Commonwealth Stadium.
They are so intense, so dedicated to catching those Pokemon. They don't care what the temperature is, I guess, Chris. Still warm, though.
Yeah, it is, and it's more the humidity. They had a little rain out there at the stadium not long ago, and that part of town into the south side of Lexington with some upper 70s showing up. We've dropped it to 83 out at the airport now on a day that had many of us staying below 90 again. 86 Frankfurt, some nearby raindrops, a little warmer southeast eastern Kentucky, and at least a spot or two. We're pushing upper 80s to around 90. Defender Radar Network. How about those gusty showers and thunderstorms that are on the move into parts of the Bluegrass region coming at us from northwest to southeast? This is an atmosphere that anytime you can get some clouds or a shower or thunderstorm, it's going to keep the temperatures down, and we're in the same pattern over the next few days. It's that fight we've talked about between the heat and the storms. We'll track more of that coming up in a little bit. Right now, let's check on traffic, see if the roads are wet out there and if that's having an impact. Here's Officer Don.
A couple of collisions working right now, both on Nicholasville Road. There's a crash at Nicholasville near Tiverton. Also a non-injury collision, Nicholasville Road at the exit ramp there at New Circle. Police are still working, so backups we're dealing with there on the south side of town. Drive times to Nicholasville, once you get past that, looks okay. Versailles, normal traffic flowing to Woodford County. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A punishment turns into a hobby and an impressive first pitch. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
A group of teenagers in Louisville is catching the community's attention by working their tails off for free. Barbara Wilson says her son Travis has fallen in love with mowing lawns for people. She says it started as a punishment, though. Her son enjoyed the work, though, and became increasingly satisfied with seeing the freshly mowed lawns. And Travis has since brought in his two brothers and a cousin.
We're doing it for the community, people who can't get out and do it. And I got my brothers involved because, I kind of showed them and then told them the good effect.
So the boys have now expanded from a few yards in their neighborhood to several areas around the city. They don't take payments, but they do accept equipment and donations on their GoFundMe page. Their mom now plans to take the boys on a trip to Disney World because she's proud of their hard work and their generosity that they have shown the community. We have so many stories, unfortunately, in the news about what kids do wrong. Yep. Here's a great example of them working hard and being rewarded.
Absolutely. Good for them. Harlem Globetrotter Cheese Chris Holm wowed baseball fans with a one-of-a-kind first pitch last night. Take a look. The Globetrotter threw out the first pitch at the Philadelphia Phillies game, but unlike most, he threw that pitch while spinning a basketball on his finger. Pretty impressive stuff. But you know, he had to use the basketball some way. That's what he does every day.
They practice that. All right. Much more to come now at 5 o'clock on WKYT.